By now, I welcome you in this session, Bible and Facts. My name is DONNE. In this session, you are about to watch, we look at the city of Jerusalem in New Testament times. May the Lord guide you and bless you on your journey. Few cities have survived as long as Jerusalem, the capital city of the ancient nation of Israel. By the time of Jesus, it had been in existence for at least 1,000 years. King David established Jerusalem as the capital of his kingdom about 1000 BC after taking the city from a tribal people known as Jebusites. While the city has grown and changed across the years, it has remained on essential the same site as this very first city of David from the nation's past. During his ministry, Jesus made several visits to Jerusalem. This outline map shows the layout of the city as it probably appeared to him and his disciples. One of the most striking features was its imposing wall system, but parts of which are still visible today in the older sections of the city. Ancient Jerusalem stood totally within these massive walls. Residents and visitors entered the city by passing through one of the huge gates that cut through the walls. This map shows the location of several of these entrances, including Damascus Gate, Sheep Gate, Gone or East Gate, and Zion Gate. Along the wall on the eastern edge of Jerusalem stood the temple, focal point of Israel's religious life. This beautiful structure had been rebuilt on this site by Herod the Great, Roman governor of southern Palestine, about 20 BC. The original temple, erected during the reign of Solomon several centuries before, had been destroyed and replaced by an inferior structure during the period of Israel's captivity by Babylon in the 5th century BC. Herod hoped to carry the favor of the Jewish people by putting up this magnificent temple as a center of worship and devotion. To the east and southeast of the temple, just outside the city walls, lay the deep cleft of the Kidron Valley, a place familiar to Jesus and his disciples. Here, within sight of the city, Jesus prayed his prayer of agony in the Garden of Gethsemane. Further up the hill on the other side of the valley lay the Mount of Olives, where Jesus was arrested the night before his trial and execution. The site of Jesus' crucifixion was Golgotha, or a place of skull, which may have been located just outside the northern wall of the city. The exact place is difficult to determine because of uncertainty about the precise location of Jerusalem's northern wall during this period. Likewise, scholars can only guess about the site of the tomb where Jesus was laid somewhere outside the walls of the city. David's Cedar. The insert on this map shows how Jerusalem looked when captured and occupied by King David about 1000 BC. David took the walled city from the Jebusites by gaining entrance through a water channel. Then he destroyed some sections of the massive wall to let his army inside for the final battle. Later, he filled these gaps in the wall with loose rock and rubble to fortify the capital against his enemies. This original city of David was located along the Kidron Valley, just south of the site on which the temple stood in later years. The tabernacle. This insert shows the floor plan of the tabernacle, focal point of Israel's faith during the period of before the temple was completed by King Solomon. At one end of the tabernacle was a large open court area with an altar where burnt offerings were sacrificed by the priest. At the other end stood the Holy of Holies, a section which only the high priest could enter as he made atonement for the sins of the people. The Ark of the Covenant was located behind curtain in the Holy of Holies. Solomon's Temple. This inset shows the floor plan of Solomon's Temple, completed about 950 BC. It was a long, narrow structure, probably about 100 feet long by 30 feet wide. Like the tabernacle which preceded it, the temple contained a large open court area. One end of the open court was designed as the holy place, which any Jewish worshipper could enter. At the other end of this court stood the Holy of Holies, which the priest alone could enter. This area symbolized the visible presence of God. Solomon's temple also contained numerous particles and porches which served as elaborate entrances as well as areas where sacrifices were offered by the priest. I thank you.